y'all, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. And today we are setting up our July bullet journal, and this will be the last month in my planner. And what I do, I just use a cheap college ruled notebook to do all my planning in, and it works out to where I get 4 months out of that, so I only need 3 notebooks for the entire year. So that works out really good for me. So the first thing I do is I do the calendar page. So I usually just kind of use this red line for my first day. So like for Sunday, I find that it kind of just looks better that way. So I just use a ruler. I found that some rulers are a little too thick for this. Like I bought plastic ones and it doesn't quite work out like the way I would like it to, but these little wooden ones, they work great. And I just got all of my stuff at Walmart. These are great things to pick up. Pretty soon they're going to have all of this stuff on sale for back to school, so you can get all of this stuff really cheap. And usually at this time you can get notebooks like, I don't know, they used to be 25 cents. I think last year they were 35 cents, but you can get them, you know, anytime at like the Dollar Tree and stuff like that for a little over $1. Probably Dollar General might be cheaper than Dollar Tree now, but you can get them really reasonably priced. And if yours works out like mine, you only need 3 per year, so $3 for a planner for a full year is not bad. So we're just gonna, this is how I do mine too. I set mine up like this, where I just do the calendar. Since I go through several of these planners a year, I don't do any of the year at a glance or things like that in mine. I do that in a separate notebook. I call it my yearlies collection, and I put all kinds of information in there. So after I get this, I'm going to write all the days of the week. And the great thing about this and doing this on your own is you can customize it to start on whatever day you like. I personally like to start it on Sunday, but I know that it's kind of getting really popular to where people want to start it on Monday, and you can, you know, change this and adapt this to work for whatever works best for you. So that is the beauty of making your own. You can really just do it however you want. Okay, so after that, I look at this little cheat sheet I made me, and since there are only 5 weeks in this month, I only need to go down 6 rows. So we'll just count. Okay, so hopefully I counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, so we'll go down 6 rows, and last month we had 6 weeks, so we only went down 5 rows. Okay, I think I'm about to mess myself up there. I said 5. We'll count and make sure I have the right number. I'm one of those people that I get so easily distracted, and if somebody will say a number, it totally throws everything off. I have family members that do that to me whenever I'm counting, and I have to count it like 5 times. Okay, so we'll just keep going. Okay, almost there. And I also used to use these calendars, and I would put like all of our appointments and like important days on here, and that did not work very well for me at all. I was forgetting everything. So I decided that I was gonna figure out a different way to do that, and I do that in my daily planner. So we're gonna start off this month. We're gonna start off with 1. So now what I do with my monthly planner like this, or the calendar, is I write my garden planting calendar. And this is where I use like the moon phases and the astrological signs. And I track whether it's what days are best to plant when and what days are not good to plant anything. We kind of go through all of that, and I do videos every month showing all of that, and this has made such a big difference in our garden. I cannot tell you. I am so happy I started doing that, and we have had so much better production. So if you can't tell, also I am a gardener. I love gardening, and I incorporate a lot of that into my planning. So this is another great thing. You can like incorporate all your hobbies and things that you're into your planner however you like. So that's what I'm going to do there. Also, I have another notebook. As you can tell, I love notebooks. I have another notebook for just like YouTube stuff. And I tried to do like all of my videos and stuff in like a almost like Alistair method, I think it is, where you just like number all the pages and that represents the day of the month. And that did not work for me. For some reason, when dealing with that, this setup works for me. So in my YouTube notebook, that's what I do. I do this and write some type of a schedule. So hopefully I'm not falling off the wagon here with that. So that's what I do there. And then we're going to move on to the next page. Now, like I said, this is completely customizable and you can set yours up however you like. This is just what has been working so great for me. So I'm going to share that. So I like to set goals. So we'll just do that. That's my next page. So July 2024, I cannot believe it is already July. This does not seem right. This year has flown by, but yet it feels like the past few weeks have been years. So it's kind of crazy. Okay, so the next thing I usually do is always my financial goals. So we need to make sure that we like pay the bills. That is for sure something you want to do. And like I just write like general things like electric. Let's see, the phone. We just recently got a new phone company, so and they got all the fees associated with that. So that's probably going to be a really big bill. And then water, insurance, and YouTube Premium. I am also probably going to get some type of streaming service. What we generally do to stay on budget and not spend as much money is to just get one streaming service at a time, and we'll like watch whatever we want to watch on it for like a month or two, and then we'll switch to another company after we cancel the other one. That way we don't have so many payments going at once, and it kind of keeps it nice and fresh. So that's what we do there to save money. Another thing we need to do is put orders in. I generally only put like 1 or 2 Amazon orders in. I don't have Amazon Prime or anything unless if we're getting it for the streaming service. Some things that I need to remember to order is our shower filter. This is the month we need to change that. Where we are at, we have horrible chlorine in our water, so we pretty much have to filter all of our water. And I also need to get a new light. Although it's doing, well, I won't say that. We need to get a new light for filming. I won't say anything. I'm sure y'all know why. Okay, and then other things I would like to do, I would like to try and save some money. That would be great. Let's see. What else? Okay, so that's pretty much everything I do for financial. We also do a lot of secondhand shopping and things like that. So we may end up going to things like that. I don't really know of very many right now, so I generally write that down, but I don't know if there's any, so we may not do that. Next up, I do my home category. So some things I generally always like to do is the weekly home blessing hour. And that's basically where I just do like a physical reset of our space to try and like get everything clean. So where I do like my dusting and sweeping and mopping and all of those fun things. And another thing I do is I put a 4 there because, well, let's see, I might need to do, yeah, I only do 4 because I do mine on Sunday. So I only have 4 weeks here. That way I know how many weeks out of the month I actually did that. Now we're going to move on to zone cleaning. And honestly, this is kind of like an aspiration. I hope to get to this. I am not very good at doing like the Fly Lady zone cleaning the way she says to do it, where you just do a little bit every day or like at least an hour or so every week. I'm generally more of a like 2 times a year kind of a person. So I'm yet to make mine work exactly the way she does. So I'm kind of almost to the point where I accept it, but I would love to be able to get to that point. So I still try and hope that one day I'll be this person, but I'm not sure that that is ever going to happen. Next thing I'm going to write down is check the vacuum bag. I think, the world's worst at remembering to check that. And we don't want it exploding. That would not be good. And other things I need to do is be sure and make bread flour. I have a video on our channel where I share how to make that really easy using only 2 ingredients, and we make all of our own homemade breads. And now's the time where I think you're having more sandwiches and kind of more lighter things like that, so we will go through a lot of that. And the next category is my personal goals. So like things I need to work on or I like to do is oil pull. So that's kind of what I do for my oral health. And I also do like how many days out of the month there are. And I'll show you what I use to come back to this later on. And then also melt. This is kind of like an exercise or stretch program that works great that has helped me so much. I do a lot of gardening, and sometimes that can be really physically challenging on your back and things, and this has been a game changer for me. Also T-tap. That is my preferred exercise, but I have not been the best at this, and I really need to jump back on the bandwagon with this because I have just been so busy with putting the garden in and so many other things going on. I've really got to get better about that. Also my exercise machine, I need to do that too. Actually, I need to get one of those ordered. So you know what? We're going to come up here and write exercise machine because mine is just about broken. So I think we are going to order a new one of those. Maybe we'll get lucky and find one secondhand. That would be wonderful. That's where mine originally came from, and I found out how much I love it. And something else I'm going back to, I used to do this several months ago, probably back in April, is the carrot salad stuff. I'm going to try that and see if that helps. It has a lot of benefits, especially for women. So I'm going to try that and see. I know I did notice some difference, but I didn't know if it was enough because it kind of gets really boring after a while. So I'm going to give it a try and see if I can stick to it. I don't know. It's hard for me to stick to anything anymore, it seems like. Okay, so the next side I use like my outside goals, kind of like more gardening goals. And this is strictly just for me, like the things that I need to remember to do. So for example, I need to weed, and we had got some ground cover, and that has been a game changer for us in our garden. I know it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but we have these horrible invasive grasses, and that has made a world of difference. It's actually manageable this year, so that is wonderful. We're into July, so usually for us the water or the rain pretty much shuts off, so we are doing a lot of watering, and I don't use city water or anything. I just use strictly rainwater and do it by hand, so that is a big project. We are going to be having harvest, hopefully. We are starting to get several things. We recently did our potatoes, and I bet we'll be having more like peppers and tomatoes and things like that coming on. So we need to do that, and then also I need to fertilize. I have several videos on my channel where I show my homemade fertilizers, and if you can tell a theme here, I do everything on a budget, so they are really cheap to free, and they work super, super good. That's like another thing I've learned in my gardening that really makes a big difference. And then on this section, I do my next month. This has been really helpful with remembering things that, like, especially like if I need to buy, like I almost forgot my shower filter if it wasn't for this. Those types of things. Also like doctor's appointments, like we have several of those this coming month that I need to remember, so I usually just write those out there. Also, another thing next month I need to remember is to renew my license. So here's a reminder, if you haven't looked at yours in a while, I know it's so easy to forget, make sure and check it and make sure it doesn't expire, because that is no fun to have to go through all of that. So we need to do that. And I think that's everything, and I will just add to this through the month as I think of things. So like especially like orders, because I generally only put in one order, so I'll add all of that in for next month throughout the month. And something else new I started doing is doing a to-do list. Now sometimes it gets really, really busy, and I have to do 2 pages of this or just do it like for 1 week or something. But so far it's been working really, really good and kind of helps keep me on track. It really helps me anyways if I have some sort of an idea. Things don't always go like I would like them to go, but it's also nice just to kind of have that idea of all the things that need to be done, and you can try and either delegate or like figure out what the most high priority things are and get those done. So like for home, let's see, what do we have here? So the main things I want to do is weekly home blessing, where I do the physical space reset. I also do like a prep for the week reset whenever I do this as well, where I like figure out groceries and recipes and do the chopping and things like that. I'm also going to put the zone cleaning on here. Whether that actually happens or not, I don't know, but we'll try. I'm going to go ahead and write bread flour here again too, because usually I have to make that several times. Let's see. I really like to do cooking and baking, so I'm going to put new recipes on here. Also, I had a goal where I'd like to make several new recipes. I'm trying to remember how many. I think 50 or more. So I think like a new recipe a week was really more what I was aiming at. So we'll see how far we get there. I'm doing pretty good so far, but I don't want to fall behind. Other things we need to do is we need to preserve our harvest. So whenever peppers are coming in, I need to get them prepped and preserved however we want. Hopefully we are going to do really good with our paste tomatoes, and we'll get to make lots of homemade sauces this year. I really got into that last year. Let's see. Oh yes, something I need to remember is to make laundry detergent. And I also have a video on our channel where I share how to make this too. It is super cheap, like $10, and uses 3 ingredients. It's super cheap and it works amazing. If y'all follow us or follow along with us on some of our gardening videos, you can see how dirty some of our clothes are, and that laundry detergent did amazing at getting all the stains out, and I didn't pre-treat anything. So I love that laundry detergent. I have been making my homemade laundry detergent for a long time, and I recently tried this recipe several years ago, and it has been my go-to and my most favorite I've ever made. Okay, so other things I need to remember is to make cheese sticks. We make homemade cheese sticks. They are so good, and I need to get to that. As well as I like to make at least 1 batch, if not 2 batches, of our Southern Fluffy biscuits. I have a recipe video on this, and these biscuits are amazing. You just cook them all the way, like bake them and everything, and I freeze them, and I cannot believe how good they are frozen. They turn out wonderful. So I make a big batch of that just to put in the freezer so I have easy sides. So that works really good. I kind of started doing that every month, and it has made a big difference and made dinner so much easier. My next category that I do is YouTube, and this is where I get in my content planner, and I need to make some type of schedule for the month. And then let's see, of course we need to do the filming, and I usually do like a to-do list. I have a wonderful editor that helps me with the videos, and they do a wonderful job. They are also, if you are interested, they are looking to expand. So if you are a YouTuber and would like someone to edit your videos, y'all can just get in contact with me and I will let them know. They would love to do that. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Also upload. This includes like all the different things you need to do with it. And I also move all the files to the hard drive. So I'm just going to abbreviate there. All right, the next side I do the garden things that we need to do. I kind of make this a little bit redundant just because it needs to be done several times, if not several times a month, if not several times a week. So I'm gonna write here to water the garden. We need to weed, harvest. And this is just to help me, because sometimes I only open my notebook like on one side and I'm not looking at this side. So this is just like another reminder. I am really easily distracted and forget things. So this helps me a ton. So we'll just write fertilize and preserve. Okay, so the last one I do is my personal, and I kind of keep this more general. I want to do my vitamins, and I need to do my exercises. So hopefully I can get back on track with that, and also my oral health. That's where I do like the oil pulling and things like that. Okay, so that is my to-do list there, and that has been working so great. Now we're gonna move on to, this is kind of like my dinners and meal section. So this is where, so we're going to set up this page here. So July 2024 dinners. And this is where I write what we actually have for dinner that night. So like I don't forget how old the leftovers are in the fridge or anything like that. So I just write my title page, and this is why I like the college ruled notebooks too, is you have enough of space to go down and write all of the days of the month. I had tried to do this in like composition books, and that was one thing I didn't like, is I kind of have to break it up into like almost like columns, and I prefer just to have it like this, to where it's just one section, because I usually write like everything we have, the main, the sides, all of that. I have another family member that eats a different diet than we do, so I write their information so I know what they have and what they're eating isn't too old. So I really like to do it this way a lot better. So we'll just go through here and write all of the days of the month. And this, I know it may kind of seem a little tedious, but it really does not take much time. And I have preferred doing this so much better than like all the planners that you buy in the store. They never have all the things that I want and have pages that I don't even use. So I prefer to do it this way. Now we're going to be on to my meal ideas, and I do a video every month where I go over some of our meal ideas for each month, just to give you some ideas, and it helps me too, because I love to try new recipes and things like that. So what I do is I break this up, and actually previously I used to just call this dinner ideas, but it's not just dinner. So I decided to change it up and do meal ideas. And what I do is I make 3 columns, and then we're gonna break this up a little bit to kind of make like a, what would that be, a title almost? Category, maybe that's the right word. Okay, so we are gonna try and get this here. It's so hard for me to see on this side of the paper, so if it takes me a little longer, that's why. So I break this up into dinners, and then I do sides, and then I do desserts. And if y'all aren't subscribed, be sure and subscribe, because I will have a video out showing all of our different meal ideas, and I have a lot of videos previously from other months if you'd like to check that out too, if you're just needing some kind of dinner or meal inspiration. Okay, so the next page that I do is my body tracker page. So I have a few health issues, and I'm trying to gather as much information as I can to try and figure out what's going on. And it's also good information for like doctors and things like that to have, and it's really neat. You can sometimes figure out patterns of like maybe something you eat, or for women sometimes it could be like the time of your cycle or things like that, where you may be having issues, and you can kind of figure that out just by tracking. That's why, another reason why I like to just do this monthly. Not only does it save space in your planner from like having to do it weekly, and also you don't have to do so much setup. It's so much easier at a glance to look at all of that information at once, and I have found that it just is so much better. So this big section over here, I just keep as my notes area. And then I break this up into 3 sections. So we're going to have 3 little columns here. And y'all can track whatever you need to track. My main things I do is my mood, my energy, and also my cycle. So that's what I end up tracking here. Y'all may have completely different needs, but again, that is the beauty of this system, is you can make it work completely for you. And then I'm just going to number all of the days of the month. But this has worked wonderful for me. It's really shocking to me at some of the things you can figure out, and I'm still working on this. I thought about putting like a lunar calendar here too. I need to make one for family members, because we've kind of noticed things that are associated with that, which is really crazy. They actually thought I was completely crazy whenever I suggested it. And they, like, I think a month or 2 later, they're like, you're right. It does affect this. So it was really crazy that seemed to affect, and the issue was with them was their sleep. So I thought that was pretty neat that we could kind of pick up on certain things like that. Okay, so yeah, I need to probably put one of these in here with like a mood tracker and stuff for them one of these days. I just have yet to yet to do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do like my main tracker. So I am going to break this up. Let's see. I think this is, yeah, I think I'm going to come over a little bit more because I don't track nearly as much as I do in the wintertime. In the wintertime, I'm able to track a whole lot more because I have a whole lot more time to devote to this. This time of year, I feel like I'm on the struggle bus and I'm doing the best that I can. But hopefully, in the wintertime I can track more. I'm really glad that I didn't have a sleep tracker on here because that would have been horrible. We've had so many things going on. There were several nights we didn't even get any sleep. So I am really glad I didn't track that because that would have been horrible. But like the things that I track are like my exercise, the T-tap, and I do the melt, and let's see, what else do I do? Oh yes, my exercise machine. I just kind of abbreviate here. And you can always add in more too, and you can like put them going crossways, whatever you like. And then I'm gonna do my oil pull for my oral health, and then my dry brushing. That's something else I would like to get into. And then I just number all of the days of the month. And again, like I said, you can find all kinds of different things to track, like even like putting like your cycle tracker and stuff like that may be good over here. I mean, there are so many different things. I've done sleep. If you like have certain people you need to call on certain days, that might be a good thing to do. That way, whenever you look at it, you make sure that you haven't like missed a day. There are so many different things. I'm sure y'all can come up with lots of different ideas, and I just think it's great because you can just customize this exactly to what works for you. And if you try some setups and they don't work, it's okay. You know, the awesome thing with this is you can rip them out if you want. It's no big deal. And I mean, everybody goes through that trial and error stage trying to figure out what works for them. So, I mean, just chalk it up to a learning experience, and it's okay if it doesn't work. You just need to find what does work for you. So what I do here is I just, on the days that I actually do this, I'll just put like a check mark. And then at the very end of the month, whenever I'm doing my like monthly review, I'll come back over to this personal section and write down how many times I actually did that in the month. So that's what I do there. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh yes, the next page is, I'm trying to get this here over here so I remember what I'm supposed to do. And it is not working. Well, we need to know what I've got a few new things that I'm adding and I can't not remember that. So here we go. I finally got it. Okay, so the next page that I like to do is the gratitude page. This works great for me. I really have enjoyed doing this. So what I do, I just do my title page and then I just number all of the days of the week. And it kind of just puts you in a better state of mind. And actually, I was listening to someone on YouTube the other day, and they were saying that having a gratitude journal and actually, you know, writing something good every day, they said will actually rewire your brain to make you a happier and healthier person. So I think that is a pretty cool thing. They said it was scientifically proven. I didn't look at any of that, but I thought that sounded great. I mean, I could totally see how that would work, you know, kind of look on the bright side of things. So I think that is great. So I try and do that there. And another good thing is I usually do this at the end of the night. So, you know, you're kind of thinking positive thoughts at the end of the night right before bed. So that's another benefit. Kind of go to bed on a good note. All right, there we go. So the gratitude page. Now my next page that I set up is our review and reflection. So this page I have actually been really loving. It really is nice to go back and review because sometimes all the way at the end of the month, if it has been a really busy month, sometimes you don't remember all of the things going on. So what I do on this page, I don't need a very big section for notes. So I am just going to draw it out like here and put just a small little note section down at the bottom. I use this a little, but not an awful lot. So I don't want it super big. And then what I do is I break the page up into separate categories. So if you can't tell, I like to break things up and like categorize everything. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do are our wins. Those are always great. And on the other side of that, we also have the challenges. So we'll do that. And then another thing I like to do is to write improvements. This has actually been really helpful. You kind of can look at your challenges here and be like, okay, something needs to change, and you can come up with ideas or maybe even bounce ideas off of other people, and they usually have great suggestions, and I write those there, and it really has helped certain areas. Like even if like something's bothering you, say like there's something in your home you want to change or anything like that, that could be an improvement. So that has been really great. Other things that I like to have are memories. I love this. I am a really forgetful person, so I have really been enjoying that one. So that's what I do. And then at the end of the month, I like to go make sure and do this at least on the last day, in case if I like forgot to update it some, I'll be sure and come here on the last day of the month and update all of that. Okay, so the very last page, and something new that I am adding into my planner, is our July 2024 garden harvest. I thought this would be really handy. So I do have a gardening notebook, but I have to like bring it out, and I thought it might be easier just to put it all here, and I'll show you how I'm gonna try and set that up. So we're gonna start with several little columns here. Hopefully I remember all of the things. I don't have a ton of things in the garden. I'm still, well, I've been doing it for a long time, but I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to write a few things. For example, we should have tomatoes coming in. I'm just going to try and write it this way. I thought it looked kind of cute. We'll do peppers. And then we are still getting strawberries. I don't know how long, but we'll write that one down too. Almost ran out of room. Usually we're still getting some blackberries. I have made so many berry things. I've made everything from cobblers and crisps and cakes and even an upside down cake. We've made so many things. And then we're also going to do blueberries. And I should have made another one. I'm not sure if our grapes will be ready this month, and possibly our apples. I may have to, maybe I'll just leave this page blank in case if I need that, but we might also have those things that will be ready this month. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to remember. I think, if I'm not mistaken, our apples too are ready. So I might need to definitely save that page. Our apple trees are looking really good. They're getting so loaded down that the limbs are really starting to droop. So hopefully it will be a good apple harvest. We just have issues with critters like raccoons and things like that like to get them before we do. So we'll have to try and be on watch and get to them before they do. We had lost all of our pears. It was last year. Our pear tree finally produced for the first time ever, and the critters ended up getting all of them. So hopefully we will be able to beat them this year. That would be wonderful. Okay, so this is basically how I do my bullet journal planner, whatever you want to call it. I do my calendar, and I have my goals and my to-do list. I have our dinners and meal ideas, and our body tracker page, my other trackers, my gratitude page, review and reflection, and also my harvest area. And I'm not sure, oh yes, I also forgot, I need to put totals here too, because I think I'm gonna, in my yearly collections journal or my garden journal, I'm not sure which one I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna do like a harvest tally for everything for the year, so I think that would be really fun too. So I think that's everything, if I remember right, that I have for our bullet journal. Thank y'all all so much for watching. We really appreciate everyone, and I know y'all can choose anybody's video, and time is precious, so I really appreciate everyone. I thank y'all all so much for watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.